Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. I have a special guest on the show here today. It's John. He's just going to go by that name for today. He has a mask over his face, so we can't see who he is. He does because of he feels like if he his identity is shown, uh, it could cause issues for him in his life. So he's going to talk this way today, and he's going to tell us about his experiences with UFOs and apparent alien creatures that has been going throughout his entire life. And he's from Las Vegas, Nevada, and he's gonna. I guess we're gonna start from the beginning, John.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So where did it all start?
It all started when the country I was born, and I used to ride around a mango tree in a bicycle, and I learned without training wheels, which is kind of funny. That's how I learned how to ride around this mango tree constantly. And I will always see this glowing, that I would call them like suns, like a mini sun, like a mini sun, like an amber, yellowish, orange mini sun. And sometimes I will see which I thought were like flattened plates. And that's when it started.
And how old were you at this time?
I was around 5, 6, 7.
And which country were we talking about?
It's in Central America.
And so you saw like just out playing, and you would see just objects hovering around in the sky, like miniature suns and disc-shaped objects.
Yeah. And today I would define them as like mini suns, orbs, spheres, uh, oval shaped, whitish, grayish, orbs that were like yellow orange, and they had like they looked like a sun.
And what year are we talking about? When was this had been starting? Like
That
the
was
90s,
around 1990.
1990. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So and what did you think when you were 5 years old, and you would see these things by yourself at the time?
Yeah, I don't recall if somebody else saw them from a family side at that time. The other family and surroundings around me did witness it later on in my life with me.
Hmm. And that's when it started. And at the time when you first saw it, you just thought, oh, this is just natural, or what? You just this is part of this world, I guess. And
Yeah,
did you were you questioning it with the your parents or other people around
I
at the
never
time?
questioned anything. I never asked anything. I might have mentioned it to perhaps my grandma, but I I won't be able to ask her anymore. But um, that's probably maybe the only person. I did mention it to my brother throughout my entire life, and he always thought I was crazy.
So you started seeing objects around 1990 when you were 5 years old in
Yeah.
Central America, and then were there any encounters with beings during any of like at that
At that
time or?
at that time, no, I do not remember or recall any beings or paralysis or any thoughts or memories of anything else other than orbs, suns, and oval shaped white things.
Just and this would be in the daytime, nighttime, or any time. Like
Most it would be pretty much at any time, but I will see them clearly in the daytime. There was sun out. Yeah.
and then how did this progress? What was the next thing that occurred?
When we came to United States, when we came to United States, um,
What
from
year
that
would you
point on,
what year would you
that
say
was
that
around
was?
around 92,
Hmm.
1992, 1990, yeah, around 1992, 1991, 92. And from that point on is when I started seeing like silhouettes of dark, dark silhouettes of not black in color, dark in color. Sometimes they will be behind me, And at this time, I'm like around 12, 13. 12, 13 is the earliest time I remember in the States when I started seeing these silhouettes. And then after that, it became around that same time frame became what I guess is called sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
And that's when I would see this like white, like a white in color, um, like a body in right in front of me.
In your bedroom at
And
night.
yeah, and I will get so scared that I will go and sleep. I will go sleep with my brother because it's just scary, dude. It's
Yeah.
very scary. I didn't understand that thing, and that's when everything started more extreme.
And so we were talking now, you were 12 years old and you start seeing these entities in your room, you'd feel paralyzed and you just thought you were dreaming at the time, or
I thought it was dreaming, but the thing is that it will feel like I'm waking up and I'm trying to get up, and it feels like I'm just like magnetized to the freaking bed, and then I got to the point where it just happened so much that I would wake, like I knew I can open up my eyes, and it almost feels like I can't even speak, like if I'm just like my mouth and my tongue is all one, and I can't even say anything or scream anything. and
yeah.
and there was like a thing that I discovered that worked for me, which was like I'm trying to get up, and then I'm like focused, but I'm present in my mind. I'm present, and then I just relax, and then I'm up, and then that's how I combated it. And then I will be able to move like sideways, and then I will get up, and next thing you know, it was all gone
Hmm.
as soon as I did that.
And would the entity, or if there were entities in the room, did they disappear then at this point, or what happened?
So there was multiple times where I was find myself on a like a like a steel gray. It almost felt like a cold steel, as like cold stainless steel almost. Um, Flatbed per se, and then I saw like heads, like big heads, and what you call like the gray,
Yeah, Grace.
but in that, yeah. So in that description, now the thing is that it almost felt like I was high, like high in elevation as I'm laying down, like because like I'm seeing the camera and seeing the laptop, right? And that's
Yeah.
different than me seeing that back in time, because it felt like like a dream, but at the same time I'm paralyzed. I can't move. And that's what I remember. And it was multiple times. So much that at this point in time, I started thinking, like, what the hell? Am I freaking dreaming this stuff? Like, am I dreaming? Am I really living this? Like, is this really happening? Right? And like, I didn't put much thought to it, but it started becoming more aggressive in the sense that it would always keep happening, and at some point on the side, like when I would have dreams, just random dreams, I got to the point where I was like, hey, I wonder if I can control myself and I can control the actions that I'm doing while I'm dreaming. So next, when I would go into like a dream, right? Because of all that stuff that I was trying to, when I would go get the sleep paralysis, as I'm doing all this stuff, I learned how to create my own actions. Like if I'm really living while I'm dreaming. So
Wow.
anytime I have a dream now, I can actually think of like, if I want to jump, I can jump in my dream. If I want to run, I can actually run in my dream. I can go and grab something. I can go and do almost like what I'm doing now. Like if I want to go and touch my nose, I can do this now, right? And in the dream, I can do the same things now because it's just so much. I would say like so much events that happened that ended up being almost like practice, trying to figure out, well, how the heck am I supposed to get off from here? Because it became constantly a lot.
And
And
so you were talking about a metal table here before. So you feel like they might have been taking you from wherever you were and taking you someplace and like
yeah, it
somewhere
did not
else.
feel like, definitely that was not a that was not the room. It was not my room for sure. That was definitely not my room. And it was so weird because I didn't know, like at that time there's no internet, and there's no, we were poor. We didn't have internet, or I don't remember what time the internet came out, but the internet wasn't there for me to know, hey, well, this is what a grade looks like. I think sightings will show things, and then when I first saw sightings, I was like, holy shit,
The
like
TV
I can
show.
connect with this. Yeah, like I can connect with this. Now, mind you, when I came into this country, I started first grade, and in 3 months, I learned the language, English, right? And at the same time, uh, I was way ahead of the students, so much ahead of the students that I will go and tutor on English. I would go and tutor on math to
Wow.
kids in the United States, and to the fifth graders.
And you were younger
So
than
I
them.
was always like, and I was, yeah, yeah, I was in first grade tutoring the fifth graders,
Wow.
and I mentioned that because there's going to be a connection later on in the story of why that makes sense to me now. But I was always ahead of the game.
So you had these experiences and this was going on. You had no idea what it meant or what it was about. You didn't know anything about alien abduction. You're watching some shows on sightings, but you didn't make the connection. At what point did you make the connection
Yeah,
after this was going on when you were getting apparently abducted? When did you make the connection that, okay, this is what it is?
as sightings, when I started seeing the first sightings, and then people telling their story, and then I was like thinking to myself, like, whoa, like I can connect with this, and I was interested in those things now. And there was a few friends that I told the stories to, but then I was labeled crazy. Oh, you're
Yeah.
crazy, dude. What the fuck? Were you on drugs? Are you high? Like what the?
Right.
And then I will feel awkward at that point once people started, just kind of like making fun of it. So I kind of stayed quiet after a while until I got to high school. And one time my mom was taking me to Early Bird, and the thing is that we were by a base, right? We were by a
And
base.
you're in Nevada now.
And
You guys have moved from the Central America to Nevada to Las Vegas, and so you're near. Are you near the Air Force Base there, Nellis?
yeah, yeah, we were by there. And mind you, these things are always happening to me, right? I will always see like little suns, orbs, balls, like oval, like like a pill shape almost, like a Tylenol.
Yeah.
Every time I see a Tylenol, like acetaminophen, it always like, oh, this looks like the shit that I see, right? And then um, we were going, and I was in the passenger in the front seat, and I looked to the right, and I'm like, what the? I'm like, is that a boomerang? It was like gigantic boomerang just on top of like a whole block and a half, just parked on top of the freaking above the trees. And then I tell my mom's like doesn't cuss like that, and I'm like, mom, look. And then she goes like this, and then she's about to stop. Like I remember she was about to press on the gas, like she did, and then she stopped, and she's like, oh shit, what the? Because that thing was just there. And then we just looked at it, and then we ended up going to school. That was the first witness that I had
And when was that? When did that incident happen with your mom?
around 2000, year 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, year
So,
2000,
so, so,
2001.
so you were on the way to school. She's taking you to school in the car, and then you see some boomerang object just hanging up there by a tree, above a tree somewhere,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what it was. And she saw it too. So this is just
yeah.
ongoing throughout your life now. Your life. You're a young man. You're going to school, and here you're just constantly seeing these things. Nobody believed you before, but now your mom sees it. And so what happens then? Like, how does your family start believing you more?
My mom, my mom, is- that's when she started seeing that I've been telling her the truth for so long. And it's funny because like last month I had a conversation with her about these things, and then it was randomly, and she's like, I'm looking at the news, and now I remember when you used to tell me all these things, and I'm like, this entire time I can't believe you've been telling me these things, and I didn't really believe it, and now I'm seeing it. I'm like, I know, mom. Like it's real. Like it's real. It's they exist. They exist. You
I
know,
think people are
um,
coming around as time goes on. You know, some people anyway, especially people in the within the families of people who have experiences on a regular basis. I believe that at this point, I would have to think, because I know there's people in my family too that now are starting to accept it more than they did in
yeah,
years before.
very true, very true. Also, then that was in high school, and then it will always happen, right? And there was always a thing that I couldn't connect at that time frame until now, mind you, from that point on, from high school all the way till like I want to say like 5 years ago. That's when maybe like 7 years ago. That's when it started making sense to me, and because there's a pattern. There's a pattern, right? So anytime this sighting, these experiences happen, is because I get a sensation in my chest, like a vapor up in like inside my chest. Like I can't like directly point at it because it doesn't create a sensation. It's like inside, and my chest gets like super tight, like almost like I've been looking down at the cell phone for like a week straight, like that type of tightness. And then I get an urge to go somewhere, and that's somewhere I go. And once I start going, that's when things appear, and that's when things happen.
So
Uh,
what you're saying now is what's happening to you now is that over the past 7 years, just to be clear, so over the past 7 years, you get a sense, an urge to do something, to go somewhere, and then you go someplace, and then you see something appears to you. That's what's been happening.
yeah, the same things. Orbs, white balls. They look like stars, but they're not. There you can tell there's a difference in the appearance. It's not a star. Stars shine, but they from by glancing they look like stars. And I learned now that like every time I go outside, I'm always scanning the sky. I'm always scanning the sky because it's cool. Like it's part of me. And I'll go walking and I'll look at something. I'm like, is that a star? I'm like, yeah, it looks like a star. And then I'm walking and I stop and I keep glancing to see if it moves. Right. And I'll just keep going by my business. And that's just like randomly walking. But sometimes they'll look like balls. And then I'm walking and I'll stop just to confirm that it's not moving. Right. But
Yes.
it'll start moving. Right. Or sometimes it'll just be parked, just like just there. Like it looks like a star. And then once it starts looking like that, that's when um, all of a sudden I'll just stop and I'll lock in, and then I'll stop moving, and then more things started happening as it started evolving. Right, there was a lot of the times I will think of I will think thoughts. Right, so we're gonna pretend like I'm looking at the sky. It's a ball, and I'm just stop. I'm looking at it, and then I have to like step out of my like I have to like step out of myself. It's almost like a rate. The best analogy I can give you is like when like you're driving from like state to state and you're like on the highway or the freeway, and you hear the radio station like a ghost radio station,
Yeah.
right? And then you see how you tune your frequencies left or right to get it clear, more clear sound. And maybe the radio station is there, it's not there. That's the same analogy I can tell you, that like tuning myself. So I started tuning myself, and that's when all of a sudden it's almost like I'm inside water. Like all I hear is like like when you're in the pool and then all of a sudden you can't hear anything, but it sounds muffled, like you're underneath it in the pool or in a water
Yeah.
body, right? That sound, you can't hear anything, but it sounds like everything's just uh muffled, right? But I know it's happening, and I'll hear just that. In a moment, I say, and go to left, go to the right, go up, flash, disappear. It does it like instantly, like immediately, like as I think it, it'll do it. And I didn't find any connection with that, right? Until a while back, I ended up seeing something on the TV because I follow these topics, right? And psionics came into the conversation. That's the first time I ever hear of psionics, and I was like thinking to myself, "What the fuck? Like, what is I? Like, I wonder if that was me like controlling it, right?" And that thought just came to my head. Like, I didn't think nothing of it, but I remember one time I was I parked, and I had that sensation, and I get out, and I'm looking at the direction because this always happens. I'm looking at the direction. I can't see them, but I can feel it, and I'm looking, and then I it's almost like I'm talking to myself. I'm like, I know you're here. I can feel you. And I got back in the truck, and then I start like tuning my frequency, right? Like syncing myself. And then I start doing that, and then I feel it, and all of a sudden I'm like out of my body, but I'm not out of my body, and then everything is mute, right? Like everything's muffled. And I step out, and bam, there you go. There's five little suns again, just right there. And then that's when I start. Okay, go to the left, go to the right, go to up, go back, and go here, and it does it like immediately, which is the strange. Is strange.
Okay, now speaking of this, just this past last year, December 14th, 2024, you sent me a series of different videos here. I guess I could play them.
Yeah.
These were videos that show these objects that we're talking about right now. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the video clip that I had in my mind. And I sent you that because I don't have the software to like contrast and all that stuff to look at it, you know.
Right there. This is in the middle.
But they're there.
No, don't do that.
There, dude. There's like 12 of them, maybe 13 of them, maybe even 14.
That's like the seventh one.
And they're going from like that corner of that building, and they're going
They're all
up,
going the same
like towards
straight
space.
line. And they're going up like towards space. Right there.
And it's those little white balls. I call them white balls because they look solid. Like
I'm trying to talk
they're
to you.
not stars. And I think on the
Focus.
video camera,
Sit here.
I think you're
Going up
able to
like
see a
we're up in
few.
space. Look, and one more.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the sound down
That's like 8.
Bro, what
so we could talk about it over it. So you're sitting there. You're with your son, and we're talking, and you were seeing these things. And now I'm just going to add to the next video here.
Okay, there's one more. Right there.
Yeah, that's all part of the same
I'm circling it
situation,
with my laser.
experience.
That's like number 11.
Yeah. So like, what was you're seeing these same objects in the sky at this time, and your son was there with you, and they were stopping and moving, and
Yeah, she was crazy. She was awesome.
No.
It's we were at home, and here comes that urge. We go to the store. Like, it's just weird, like the weird times, right? We go to the store, and this is at that same time frame where the New Jersey drones thing was happening. Okay, now I'm watching this over like in a lot of channels and whenever drones, right? And I sent you a video. There's like a tree, that one right there.
yeah.
That one. That's not a drone. That's a freaking orb. I don't know why I called it a drone. And I think at the beginning, and I'm thinking I might have said drone because of drone verbiage that was in my head. But that's an orb. That's an orb, dude. That shit's not flashing whatsoever. And the way this happened is I get that urge. So we go to the store and I get my laser and I get a flashlight. I don't carry these on me regularly, but it almost like I knew I needed it. Right? So we go and post up in the complex in the store, and we're at the store. We get out the parking and we're looking up we're scanning the sky. My son is like, "Oh, look, is that one? I'm like, no. And I'm kind of like teaching him like the lights, the left lights, the blue lights, the green lights, the red lights, the white lights on the meanings in the planes and whatnot. And then we're like halfway in the parking lot and he's like, look, look, look. And I look up and then I was like, that is not a, that's an orb. That's an orb, right? And then I'm like, let's go back. Let me go back to the truck. And I open the door and I get my phone out. And mind you, at this point, I'm trying to like steady my hand so I can get like good footage and try to like put it in the middle. So this orb is kind of like just going to the right, and it's red in color. And if you pay attention to that tree, like eventually you'll go through this video, and I want you to focus on the tree because that's like an area that you can use as reference, so you can see that my hand and the camera is not moving. That's why I mentioned this tree. That means that the camera and my hands was not moving. The only thing
Right.
that's moving is the orb. So I'm like reaching in. I'm asking him to reach for give me the laser, but he's just so locked in, right? And this is the first experience with him, right? And
Yeah.
I'm holding the camera and I'm reaching into the vehicle to pull the laser, right? And then I circle. What I usually do is I circle the orb. That's normal common for me. I circle the orb, right? And then the second in the instant I hit it with the laser, it dodges it, and that's when you hear us saying, "It moved, it moved, it moved, it moved, it moved."
Yeah.
Now,
I'll
mind
play
you,
the sound
as I
there.
say
That
that,
is
the
not
tree is
Here, we'll play the sound. We'll play this video with sound.
Dude, that's so fucking true.
Now, what was that thing flying? Wait, just pause it there for a second. What was that little thing that you see flying across the screen? Or was that a bird or something, or what? You see the orb
I'm not so sure. I see the red orb. Yeah,
right
that's the
there?
only thing that
What's
I saw
that?
And that's it. Oh, yeah, I think
What
it's
is
like a
that?
bug. I think it's a bug.
Okay, a bug. All right.
I'm thinking it's a bug. Yeah, I'm thinking. That's when I say drone because
Hey,
of
I'm,
the New
I'm just
Jersey
asking
shit.
because I'm asking because I'm wondering maybe there was a lot more going on here that night.
Maybe you never know, right? I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
So I'm getting the laser on this time.
Ain't no way.
And I'm saying
Give
because
my
I'm
laser,
excited.
give my laser, give my laser, give my laser.
I never filmed it. I tried plenty of times, believe me.
Shine it, shine it, shine it.
There's shining.
I'm circling it.
Oh, it moved.
It's moving.
I hit it immediately,
It's going faster.
and I say it moved.
Look, as
And
soon
the
as I
tree
hit the
does
light.
not move.
Hit the light, hit the light
It's
again.
my camera was still.
Oh, it's stopping, it's stopping. That's not.
Oh,
It was hovering.
Fuck
It's
no.
stopping.
Oh wait, where'd it go?
It's right there. It's stopping right now. It's turning the other direction. It's turning the other direction.
Then it started going
That
north.
is not a plane.
Wow. Very interesting.
And I was gonna chase it, but I was scared because my son was with me, so I didn't
Yeah.
want to. That's the only reason, and I knew that it would happen again. So it's not like it's this. It's like one time thing. It happens every time, like 2 to 4 times a week. This is very
Yeah.
common, and so as soon as when you. I mentioned this tree because the tree never moves. That means that the camera doesn't move because I intentionally was not trying to move the camera, but at some point, as soon as the laser hits it, it dodges like in a counterclockwise, like it goes boom, like that, and that's when I'm like, move. Now, if you zoom, like this is what I did, and this because I was like, I can't see it on the camera, like on the video, right? But what I did is I zoomed in on the orb and I centered the orb, and you can place like a pen or a pencil on top of the orb, right? And at this point, you already know that the camera is not moving. That's why the tree is still, right? So the only thing that's moving is the orb. So I put the pen or the pencil over the orb right? And then I press play, and then as soon as the laser hits it, you'll see it like go out of. It's not centered anymore. Like the
Yeah.
pencil stays where you put it, and that orb you'll see it outside of your screen because it goes in a counterclockwise motion, and then it goes forward, like speeds up a little, and then it stops, and it just hover in there, and that's when I say, "It moved, it moved, it moved," because it dodged the freaking laser. I thought it was freaking funny, and then it hovered and ended up going, and I didn't want to chase it because he was there with me, and I was scared for him.
What do you think this is? I mean, what do you think is happening with this? Like, why is this happening? Why are you being contacted by these things? And then you get this feeling, and then you go out and you see them and you film them. And what's the purpose? What do you think is happening?
I don't know, but before we went to the store, like we just randomly went, right? Like get that urge. Now, mind you, what happened from the time we left the parking lot to go to the store, there was another thing that was happening that's not on the video. I was explaining to him, and I replayed and kind of like reenacted a different experience from a different time frame. I pull up in the parking, and I got my laser out, and I'm like, look, you see that tree there? This one day, for some reason I go visit my mom, and I park. I'm driving, and I park to the side, and I stand outside my car, and I'm looking at the tree, and there's this mini sun, like a red orb, just over the tree, right? And then I'm like, you see that tree? The orb goes, and it drops one mini orb. It keeps going, it drops another one, and it drops another one. Now there's 3 that it dropped, and there's that orb. And then it stays there, and those 3 little orbs ended up dropping 2 more orbs. So there was at the bottom, like layered 2, 2, 2, and then the mini ones that it dropped, and that main one. And again, that sensation, I don't even know why the heck I'm gonna go visit my mom. I didn't even have plans for this shit. I ended up going, and everything is mute, everything is muffled, normal, like it always happens. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm just thinking, right? This is very cool. Thank you for showing me again. If you're not from this planet, disappear, boom, all gone at the same time, all of them. And I was like just sitting there, and I was like, and I stayed there for like another 5 minutes. Okay, come back, like come back. But at that time, I do remember, because I kept thinking like, damn, why? If I was the one controlling these things, then why didn't they come back, right? But then I remember, now I heard the street, I heard the cars and the traffic, and maybe I was not synced anymore. I don't know, but I ended up going. I don't remember what else I did after that. But so I was reenacting that scenario to him before we went to the store. Pulled up to that park, right? We pulled up in a random street, then we park, and then that video played out, right? We ended up going to the store. We got some random items. We come back and we park. And that video you played earlier of all those like 12 or 13 of them, then that happened. I was laughing because I was like, this is freaking cool. Like, I have never had this many in one sighting, like in one experience, right? And so I annotated this on my phone and whatnot, and I was like, I'm gonna save these videos. Somebody can use these videos and they can do all the filter stuff and whatever. I don't know how to do that stuff, and they can see like this is freaking real, dude.
That's like 7.
I can't see them on the phone. Hold my left flashlight. Hold my flashlight. Okay, let me see if I can point it. Okay, right there. This is in the middle of the laser. No, don't do that. It's in the middle of this laser. Right there. That's like the 7th one. I'm circling it. They're all going in that same straight line. And they're going up like towards space. Right there.
It's like they're watching me.
I'm trying to talk to him. I gotta focus. It disappeared. It went up like super up in space. Look, and one more.
Oh, that's like 8.
Bro, what the fuck?
We should get Janessa out here.
Man, it's cool. It's freaking cool. And I used to be scared, and I'm not scared. Like, I'm not scared anymore. It's just super cool because at this point, it's getting more. How do I even say it? Not aggressive, but it's getting more intense. It's getting more intense now.
Right here,
Yeah,
this
so
is
that's
the one
that
with
story in context.
this is the one,
behind it.
multiple ones right here on this one. And it's hard to see, but that's what you were seeing. You were seeing multiple on this video that we have on the screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll do an enhancement on this. I'll try to see if sometimes it's hard to even, there's not a lot that you could do, but we'll see. I'll try to brighten it or something.
Yeah, and then I mentioned that the connection with the Las Vegas crash one, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk. Well, before that, before we get into that, I just want to point out this too. There was actually 2 other videos here that you have. There's this one.
There's so many.
Yeah, that one's connected to the one of those orbs that I was about to go to work, and that's like about maybe like a block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks down. And I filmed them, and they're just chilling. Like, hey,
So just like you're used to this, you're like, more UFOs checking me out. Reasons I don't know. You tell me. I mean, that's how life is. This is how life is for me. For people like me, we got to go through life seeing UFOs all the freaking time, getting called outside for reasons unknown. There's another one. What's going on?
Yeah.
Somebody tell me. Explain it to me, sir. Nobody has any explanations. Where's the government at? How come they're not telling us anything?
Look at
this
cool.
one.
It's like
Now these are lined up. Like when I was looking at this first, these you might, some might say, well, it's Starlink, but it's not, because these things aren't moving.
No,
they're just hanging out there in the sky.
They're just chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's freaking cool, man. It's like, it's I don't know what it means.
I don't. Yeah, what does it mean?
I'm a regular blue collar dude. I make a very good living. I'm not dumb. I'm a regular person, and always been ahead with my colleagues, right? And I walk in, and I'm more than likely one of the dumbest people in the rooms. I mean, it's that other people are way more smarter than me, and these things happen almost every day, 2 to 4 times a week, I will say, average wise, right? And but that Las Vegas one.
So there's a connection now to the Las Vegas incident, which I talk about. Like, I'm actually sick of talking about it, but I feel like I have to, because nobody else is talking.
Yeah.
I think everybody should be talking about it. Everybody should have been talking about it since.
Yeah, it's real.
But you have a
That's
connection.
real.
I can't wait to hear this.
So there was I think my wife was out of town, and I'm on the phone with her, right? And I'm driving, and I'm driving on the freeway, dude. And I pull up on the freeway, like I pull over on the freeway. I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone with her, and then this Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department has motorcycles, and this is blue light color that they have. That is the most comparison, the color that I can compare it to the most. And I saw a blue, but I thought it was a drone because it was blue on the right side. Now I'm in the freeway, a 4-lane freeway. I'm on the right side, and you see the overpass ahead, the next road to get out on. And there's a blue light approximately maybe 150 feet to the right side, maybe above the turn signals, on the above the turn signal height. And it's on the right, it's just hovering. So I was like, oh, that's a drone. Like, it reminded me of the cops. color. So I thought it was a drone. Next thing you know, that thing shoots, and it shoots to the left, like approximately the same distance as it was to the right, but to the left. Boom! It just shoots that way, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then it goes down really fast, and then it shoots up even higher. Bam! So fast, and then it goes to the left, and then it goes down the road, like slower, and then bam! It takes off like up, like you're leaving this planet.
So you
And-
saw this
and
is
it was
an
this
object.
blue. Yeah, it's an object. Yeah, but it
And
was
what
the
day
color,
was this?
the blue.
Was it the same kind? Was that the
Holy
same day,
shit.
or was this the same time as the Las
May-
Vegas incident?
No, that was maybe like 2017, 2016, and it
Okay.
was that color, right? Like it was a blue color, and my entire time I've always questioned white, yellow, reddish, amberish suns, like pills. When I was younger, I saw the like flattened dishes. All right, that's the best description I can give you because they were like almost like flying like saucers, like the flying saucers. Great. And when I was a kid, that's when I only seen the flying saucers. Older, it's only been orbs and suns and pills, right? But that blue color, I was like, okay, that shit was not no drone. That's definitely an orb, and it took off so freaking fast. And it was the fastest thing. It was not a drone, but the blue color is what intrigued me because that is the only blue orb I have ever seen. And then when that Vegas incident happened, that cop that has that, I think I'm not sure they pulled over that vehicle, and then on his camera you can
Well,
see.
they had there was a body camera. The cop was interviewing somebody,
Yeah.
Some random people in the street about some other unrelated incident, and then they saw through his body camera, you could see the object coming down, and also captured on numerous other cameras as well.
That color, that's the same color.
That you saw in like 2016, 2017. So you've seen this
Yes.
object before. So they're flying
And
around
then-
like probably checking out Vegas on a regular basis, perhaps.
And I saw the video. I was like, because at first I was like, the body cam. I was like, to what? Like, okay. Then I saw the video, the incident. I was like, oh shoot, I can see them. They're right there. Like they're like cloaked, right? And then you can see many of them in the background. And I didn't need to like speed it up or slow it down, or like I could see it. Like they're there, right? And maybe I'm more susceptible to seeing it because my experiences, I don't know. But what caught my eye is when I played the video and that body cam showed in that color, I was like, oh my goodness. I have never seen that color on a freaking, I seen that orb color once, and there it is again on the freaking body cam. I was like, holy crap, that's it. That was it. So that is the only connection that I have on there. That's how I connected to that. But I always wonder, like, damn, dude, what the hell? Like, I seen this blue thing. What was that blue thing? Like, I want to see these other colors. And I connected that, so I thought that was pretty cool.
So with all of this, okay, now you had the incidents like when you were younger, when you actually you felt like you were getting abducted and at different times. Did that come to an end, and now is it just strictly seeing objects and having that feeling, or is that still ongoing too?
The sensation still goes. It's
The paralysis
there. Yeah.
That happens still sometimes.
A lot of it in the nighttime, in the daytime. In the daytime, it happens also, but it's different because I can hear like static charge. Like static charge, I guess. It's the best description I can give you. Like a static crackle charge. And I know I'm looking and I'm like, I know you're there and I can hear you. And I'm just looking like, okay, like, can I see like a outline? Can I see like a discrepancy in the sky? Cause it's cloaked, right? I'm looking for these things actively. And I'm like, I can hear the crackles, like a static crackle charge. And I can feel it. Like I can feel it. And it's right there and it'll go away. That's in the daytime. And many of these times I'm looking up, I'm scanning, and even at work, like people will be like, what are you looking at? And I'm like, look. And I'm like, he's like, put that laser away. And I'm like, I'm like, that's not a star. He's like, that's a star. I'm like, it's not a freaking star, dude. Look. And next thing you know, two of them poof, bolt out. And then he was just freaking out. I remember that was super funny. That was super funny. And then after that, he was just like, oh shit, like not weirded out, but he was like, dude, I never seen that, man. That's pretty cool, man. Thank you for showing me that. He was like thankful. I got a crazy one story on Area 51. We went to Area 51 to the little alien.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it was like 11:30 at night because I think they closed at midnight. I think it was. So we waited. They closed, so it was like right after closing. But it's so dark because it's only one lane, like east and one lane west, right? And I'm walking. We're walking to the truck, and I'm like, you can see every freaking star out there. And we're walking, and I'm with the fam, and get in the truck, and my little genius idea was, let me turn these lights out to see how much I can see. And I slam on the brakes because I can't see nothing. It's so dark out there. We're driving about like 10 minutes in. I see a light in the back of the truck. I'm thinking it's a motorcycle. So we're like, hey, look, that's a motorcycle. At least we're not driving alone, right? And my wife's like, yeah, at least we're not alone. And then I was like, hey, did you bring your guns? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, well, I guess. Well, hopefully nothing happens to us, right? And this motorcycle was in the back, maybe 2 lanes, maybe 2 cars behind us, as distance-wise, right? And then that motorcycle, all of a sudden, is like 10 cars back. And then that motorcycle, all of a sudden, is like on the glass, on the back of the glass. It's like literally on the glass. And
What do you mean on the
I'm
glass?
looking at the rear mirror, like it was like, you see the rear glass,
Yeah.
right? The rear glass, it's right there, like behind it, like literally behind it. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like in my head, because I'm not trying to panic anybody. And next thing you know, it's like 10, 15 cars back, boom, like that. It's all the way back there. And it's all the way in the front, like all the way like by the back of the glass now. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I tell my wife, I'm like, can you guys look in the back? And she's like, no. And everybody's freaking out. And I'm the only man there. So I'm like, okay, I gotta calm down. This is normal for me. I gotta calm down. I gotta relax. I have to not let them think that I'm scared, right? And that thing's just bouncing, dude, like on the rear glass. Like,
You mean saying that
5
when you're
cars
saying the rear
behind.
glass, when you're, I guess I'm confused. You
So-
mean the rear view mirrors or
Not the rear view mirror, like you see the glass in the back, your back window.
the black? Oh, you mean the black windshield, the back window?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're saying it was right there. The light was right up against.
Yeah,
it.
it's like if I
Okay,
go
wow.
and I put my hand on your windshield, on your window.
So it came, that
Yeah,
light from
basically.
you thought it was a motorcycle, and all of a sudden this light was right on the back of the car, basically, and then it moved
Yeah,
somewhere
that's
else
it.
into the front.
It
Did it-
was always behind us.
It was always behind you,
But
okay.
it was always behind us, right? It will go from like on the wind or like on the glass to like 10 cars back.
10,
to, like,
like the
maybe
spaces of 10 cars back. There were no other cars. It was just you and this.
There's no other
light.
cars.
Right. So the
Yeah.
spaces of 10, so it would just keep moving up close and then go far back again. Wow, that's pretty interesting.
And then next you know, it was like maybe approximately 20 cars back, because it's a straightaway on Extraterrestrial Superhighway. It's like 20 cars back, and next you know, it was on the window, like bouncing. And then I was like, I put the window down. It's because when it was on the glass, and I was like, I don't think that's a motorcycle. I can't hear nothing. Like there's no sound, and everybody was so scared, right? And I'm like trying not to panic, and I'm like, oh my god, this is not freaking happening right now. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and it just keeps doing that. Like, boom, window, 10 cars back, approximately 25 cars back, 5 cars back, window, boom. It keeps doing that. Like, it not like in a linear way, like sideways, left side, right side, middle-ish type of sort. And next thing you know, it was like 2 cars back. Okay, now this got really strange because everybody was quiet. Everybody was so quiet. And it was the kids were so quiet too. And usually they're loud and they were so quiet. And I felt like I had the sensation that I was being seen through, like almost like an X-ray.
Yeah.
And and I felt it, and I was like, okay, what the fuck is this feeling? Like, what? I had never felt this before. Like, I felt like I was being seen through, and then the sensation went away, and that light disappeared. As soon as it disappeared, I saw, mind you, this is a nighttime. It's so dark. I saw the entire landscape. The best description I can give you is like if you go into a dark room, you take a picture with a flash, and you see how that split second you're able to see the entire everything.
Yeah.
So it's there, like about 2 cars behind. I feel the sensation. The sensation goes away. The freaking that orb, it looks like a sun. It's like, imagine the sun in a mini version, like the size of a soccer ball. And then it goes away. And the moment it goes away, I saw the entire landscape like if it was daytime. Like, whoop, comes back, gets dark, and then we're driving very quiet. We didn't talk about this. We were in the car. The people that were in the car, we didn't talk about it till like a year and a half later.
Wow. Nothing was said. That's a weird thing that happens sometimes in these cases. You hear this, like people, like I was just doing a story the other day. I was talking to somebody, and a man and a woman are inside their bedroom having a conversation, and it's 12 o'clock at night. Next thing you know, they're standing outside, and it's 4 a.m. and they have no idea how to get there. They smoke a cigarette and go back to bed and don't really talk about it. And then it took them time to realize, wait, that was weird. Right. I mean, you think it would be, but you're saying now after this incident happened, everybody just was quiet and you didn't talk about it for like a year and a half. And when did this happen, by the way? When do you think?
I would say around year 2018 or so. 2018.
Okay.
2018.
So basically, you have had starting when you're at a very young age in Central America, right? You've seen objects in the sky. You had encounters with alien creatures, mostly that happened in your when you went to sleep at night. Apparently something would come. You would feel paralysis. You felt yourself on a metal table, and you say this has been happening. That has been happening in addition to these other things, off and on throughout your entire life.
35 years.
Okay.
The last one was the one I think it was last week. Been like so busy that I think it was last week. Again, we go to the store, my son and I, and did we park? Were we parking? It was just random. We ended up going to the store. It was a random go, right? And I had the sensation, but I didn't have the sensation. Like I'm thinking I had a sensation because I thought it was there, but it wasn't. So I will say that I didn't have the sensation. We just ended up going. It was just a random visit to the store. We ended up coming back when we parked, and I'm scanning the sky, right? And then I'm walking, and I tell my son, I'm like, dude, I haven't had the sensation in my chest, like, when they come and visit me. That's exactly what I said. And then he's like, oh, how long? I'm like for like maybe about a week. Like that second I said, oh, about a week.
Yeah.
Right. There's this I'm looking up, and I'm looking at a certain specific place, and it's like that ball. It's like a ball. It looks like a ball, and like a white ball, dude. Like it's not a star. Like it's a ball. Like that's the best description I can give you. Like it looks like a white ball that's there, but it's like trying to be a star, but it's not fitting in. It's like a white ball. And then my son is like, that's not one. And I stop, and I'm looking at it. And the reason I stop is because when I'm walking and I'm seeing these, it looks like it's moving, but it's not moving. And I'm looking, and I was like, oh, it starts moving, but really fast. Like if you look at a plane in the sky,
Yeah.
right? There's a speed to have to it. This one was about maybe like I would estimate like around 4 times the speed of a regular plane in the sky, and it starts moving towards us, like really like a 4 times the speed. And then he's like, "Whoa!" Right? And then he went. It was white. It's going, and it flashed red, and gone. And I was like, "Oh!" And he's like, "Dude, they heard you." And I was like, "Dude, it's like they just freaking said, hey, we're still here. They're not going nowhere." And we're joking about this stuff, right? And I stand there like I'm in the middle of the damn road, because I'm in the middle of the road in the complex, right?
Yeah.
I'm just there, and I'm like, okay, was that a cloud? Like, did they go into a cloud? Or where they go? They're gonna come back? They didn't come back, but that was the last one. That was like last week. I thought it was hella cool.
And when was the last time you would think that you actually had an encounter with the beings themselves? How long has that been?
Oh shoot. Maybe 8 months ago. And I
8
even
months
asked
ago?
my wife, I was like, hey, were you up around this time? Like, was I in the bed?
And
And yeah, it didn't the explanation wasn't right. Like I had a sleep paralysis, and there was a certain time frame that I looked at the time, and then it was different. It was like 2 hours ahead after that, and then I remember that in between. But I had sleep paralysis, and then the time frame was like 2 hours later, and then I look, and I'm like, what the hell? What happened to the 2 hours? I fell asleep. That's what I thought, right? Like I was like, oh, I fell asleep, but the sleep paralysis is the reason I question it. That's the only reason
Right.
why. And then I asked my wife, I was like, hey, did you see me here? Was I here? Because she knows.
yeah.
Like,
And did she see it?
She's seen it. I was this. She didn't really know she was sleeping, so
Okay.
she doesn't really know. But I
Did
asked
she
her,
ever-
maybe I was.
Did anybody did you ever experience like a disappear, like you disappear and anyone notice it? And then did that ever happen to you?
No, and that's why I asked her. Like, I was hoping that she would say, "No, I thought you were playing video games or something." At that time frame, because I wasn't there. But I guess she doesn't know, because she doesn't know if I was there or not. That's why I asked her, because I was trying to make it make sense.
But so and all the times when you had those experiences, though, most of the time you don't really remember much about what's going on with the beings. Like you don't have
No.
any clear memories of seeing them really sharp and focus. It's always like, dreamlike and
Dream state.
dream states or
Yeah, all dream state, except for the last story, the one that I told you, right? Of when they flash red, and I mentioned that. Oh, I haven't had
yeah,
a
but you didn't
sensation
see the
for about a
I mean,
week.
yeah, but you saw, yeah, but you didn't see the
I didn't see
beings
that.
that day.
No, but it's what happened afterwards, like 10 minutes after that. I
Yeah.
came and I was in the room, and what happens is when I'm outside, I always sense the direction, and I'm always facing the direction where they're at. That's common. That's very common. So I'm inside the room though, and I'm looking at the corner of the ceiling wall, right? Because it's like 3 corners, right?
Yeah.
And my son, I'm looking because I sense it in that direction. And my son was like, he's like, can you see through walls? Like, you have X-ray vision? I was like, no, I don't have X-ray vision. I cannot see through walls. But I sense them right there. They're over there somewhere. Right? And he's like, you want to go outside? I was like, no, I don't want to go outside. I'm okay. And that is the first time I say that, which is strange, because usually I'll run outside and the orbs are there. And at that second, like right after I said that, I started having these flashes of visuals, symbols, visuals, silhouettes. Like, I don't know how long it was happening, but they just came, and it was like in my head, like flashes of visuals, boom, boom, boom. But they had a gold outline. I remember that so clearly. Like it was like a gold yellow. Yellow is not even the word. It's like gold outline to it. Like on every visual, every little shape, every little object that was on that, it was just boom, 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 boom. Like it just going inside my head, and I was like, I'm looking, right, and then I'm just looking, and then it went away, and I remember I sensed myself smiling, and I grabbed onto the bed because I felt like I was gonna fall, and I sat down, and I was like, oh my god, am I gonna faint? What was that? Like that was the first time that has ever happened. And I asked my son, I was like, what was I doing right now? And he was just looking at this corner, like he was just looking how you always look.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm I'm looking into, I forgot the lady's name, hypnotic regression. She's in California. And
Yeah.
she deals with a lot of people that do like ET and extraterrestrial entities and whatnot. They have to deal with that, and she regresses them. I think she charges like $150 an hour, and I'm I'm looking into that, and I'm I'm definitely gonna go see her because I know there's
You
more
want to
I don't know
remember?
about.
Yeah, I guess here's a question I have. Like all these things happen to you, and it's just a mystery. You have no idea what it's all about. You get these weird feelings. You see objects. Sometimes you feel like there's entities around you. Sometimes you're paralyzed in your room. Were you ever paralyzed somewhere that wasn't in your bedroom? That it ever happened someplace else, or was it always in your room when you're at night when you're sleeping or trying to sleep?
No, I cannot recall that.
Okay.
No, just when I'm like sleeping.
And then you see these things on a regular basis and you have no clue what all of this means or why you're able to why they seem to be connected to you somehow, and like you're basically using you seems like you're using psionics to control them or to make them do what you're thinking
Perhaps, and I'm not
in
saying that's
some
what it
cases
is,
anyway.
right? But yeah, I'm not saying that's what it is, but I find it very like logical that it might be. Now, there was an interview that was done. I think it's a fairly new interview, and I think it was the one of the I don't remember who the guy is, and I have to relook at it again. But ended up stating something about a document, and I'm not so sure if it was a leaked document or it's himself as the story that he was talking about that in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a like a deal or a treaty of some sort that had to deal with the um, uh, extraterrestrial entities going and abducting people in minority groups in the late 70s, early 80s in the region that I was born at. And allegedly it was just to study them and whatnot. But then some of them ended up having their DNA structure modified inside the womb. And it's a conversation I'm gonna have with my mom about. Do you ever have anything that you recall around the time that I was born? And allegedly, those people end up being traced, followed, and tracked for their entire life because they were part of that program.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that's what it is, right? But I found that very strange for me to come across that around that same time from them, questioning all these things just recently. And that's a recent one. And I'll find the link and I'll send it to you. But you know, if I was to put my money on it, I'd be like, well, it would make sense, right? That perhaps around that time frame, maybe I was one of those. I was abducted, perhaps, or I don't know. Maybe if my mom can give me information on this, I'm gonna ask her. And if she connects something like that, there was a time that I would see these things, whatever, while I was pregnant with you. It might be that. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I find it very cool to have that information, thrown out there by this guy that just. And I'll find it. I don't remember the guy's name, but it's a fairly new interview.
Hmm. Yeah, this is that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I
All
think
of
it
it.
was Kohar. No, I don't remember. Who was it? Who's the other guy that does with George Knapp that he's always in Congress.
Jeremy
They have their
Corbell.
own little
Jeremy Corbell.
Jeremy Corbell. I think it was Jeremy Corbell's interview. I believe so. One of his last ones. I think he has like 2 parts to it, and it was released. I think it was part number 1. I think it's because I see like a lot of videos, and a lot of the times I'll get them mixed up. As I don't remember which one it was, because I'll binge on these. So it's like I watched 3 videos in the past hour, and then and I don't remember which part went to which video.
Yeah.
So I'll find it. I'll find it on YouTube.
So basically, this is the whole story with you, is that you, since a very young age, since at least 5 years old, you've been seeing stuff in the sky. You have some sort of a connection with them. They seem to react, and they seem to call you onto you, and they seem to know that you exist. They're connected somehow with you. And there have been also occasions where you suffer paralysis, and you feel like you've been brought somewhere. You have hazy memories of aliens, and here you are after all this time. You still don't know what's going on. No idea.
Mm-hmm. No idea. I don't know what it means, dude. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people in your position are trying to figure out what this is all about. I was just talking to somebody the other day, a woman named Samantha, who was actually planning to have undergo hypnotic regression this month. She's never done it before. She's had a lifetime of strange stuff happen, and she finally wants to get to the bottom of it. And you're talking about doing the same thing now. I hope that you contact me again, at some point after, if you do go through that. I'd like to know what you remember, what you recall under this. I mean, and maybe this is the only way to find out. I mean, I know some people will claim that, well, hypnosis could give you could be false information and stuff, but what else are we going to do? I mean, okay, maybe some of it might be false. I don't know. But to me, right, it does work. It does work in a lot of instances, and it's the only way to recover these memories that we know of. Some people complain, well, they'll ask leading questions and all that stuff. I don't know. Okay, if somebody does it the right way, then that shouldn't be a factor at all either. And so I can't wait to see what you find out if you do end up going through with this.
Me neither. And I am going to go through it. I already spoke to my spouse about it, and then she's like, I want to be in the room, and I was like, yeah, for sure. And there's so much more that I haven't said, right? Like, I have so many, dude. Like so many stories, like so much more that I can tell you, like days and days of it. It's just my entire life, and
yeah.
And at some point, like, I was like, dude, what the fuck, is something wrong with me? I even stopped. Like, there was a few people that I told earlier in my life, and they would like mock me for it and make fun of it, and I stopped telling people. And now that all this stuff is coming out to the light, now I'm like, I told you.
That's how I feel. I've told you. That's how I can't. And that's why I keep. I told you it's real, and we have the evidence now too to back up everything we're talking about here. There are really creatures here, so everyone needs to know that. That's why I like rubbing it in people's face. That's one of the I'll tell you what. One of the reasons I like talking about the Vegas aliens all the time, because I know there's nobody could ever be able to debunk it, and I love rubbing it into the face of the naysayers. That's part of it, right? Now we have the proof. There's who's laughing now, right? Who's laughing now? That's how I look at it. But I think that I'm looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with your case, with your hypnotic regression session that you plan on having, and maybe we'll get an answer. I mean, I don't know. See, that's one thing. People do get hypnotized, but there's still no. We still don't really know what they're up to, what their grand plan is. But it's something that we just can't figure out at this point. That's something they're really holding very close, and they don't. That's not whatever that reason is why they're here. They're not telling the people that they abduct on a regular basis what that is.
Yeah, I know. I wish I would know. Like, I want to know. And I understand why, people or agencies that will have these crafts and these connections, for the good of the United States. Like, come on, we're like number 1 in the world, right? And like, hey, if this secret, like, this would be like a, I would say controversial statement, right? But I get it why they would want to keep it secret, specific things, because it keeps the United States in power. I get that part, and I'm all for that, you know. Except, but I know for sure that I know they're real. They're real, and I think we also need to know the truth. But that also changes a lot of things, because what's going to be real, you know, like, well, what happens if, you know, my mom is very religious, and I've asked her, I'm like, hey, mom, like, seriously, if you was to find out that you was created, let's just say from ape by extraterrestrial entities from different planets, and not what you believe in your religion, what would you think of that? And she's like, I don't know. She's like, my whole life will be a lie. And she's religious, but not like that religious. I can only imagine people that are devoted, right?
Yeah.
In that respect. So I understand that angle and that perspective, but I think we need to know.
Yeah, we need to know.
You know?
We need the Band-Aid taken out. The people need the band. I mean, the problem is like you and people like you and I could sit here talking about it, and people who have had experiences could sit here and talk about it, but it doesn't really matter until you have the people who are in charge talking about it. That's when it's going to matter, because you know they're the ones we give the power to, and then they feel that it's important to not tell people for some reason. That tells me that this must be. I'm really starting to come to the terms with whatever's going on here might not be good. I mean, I'm just starting to think that, because they're not talking about it. It's a big giant mystery. That doesn't seem friendly to me when you're getting abducted, right? That doesn't sound friendly to me.
True.
You know, so it's against people's will and things like that. So I think, yeah, that's where I'm starting to lean at this point in time. I don't care what people like Stephen Greer has to say one bit. I don't care if he thinks that this is a great thing. And I mean, unless he, like someone like him, right? If he has somehow a connection with these beings, like that he's not telling us about it, and that's what he acts like. And I don't believe it. I think it's all nonsense. Mm-hmm. I don't know what his game is these days. There's some people out there who want to say this. I don't see how anybody could know what these beings are up to. But I'm just starting to, just based on some of the stuff that we talk about on this show all the time, and what you're talking about here, it doesn't sound good to me, that the fact that you get it taken against your will, that doesn't sound good to me.
Yeah, I want to know, like, at least make an appointment.
Yeah, at least or ask, maybe give me the opportunity to volunteer. Yeah. Right, not just hey, just rip you out of bed, or just show up in the middle of the night while you're sound asleep, and then stand there hovering over your bed like they were doing to me. Like I think to me that seems wrong. I mean, if a human being were to do something like that, I was just talking about this in the previous show, they'll be arrested. So true. That's how I see it at this point. But anyway, I just want to say this. We're gonna close it out. I want to say thanks a lot, John, for coming on the show today, and I really appreciate it. And I hope to hear from you again after you do have your hypnosis session. That should be very interesting to find out what goes on there. And I want to say thanks a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah,
kind of froze. Okay, cool. Yeah, I appreciate listening. My experiences are real, and they're never. I don't think they're ever gonna stop, and I hope they don't stop, because I at some point, like, I even had it in my head that at some point I want to connect truly to the point where, like, land.
Yeah. Hey, maybe they are here for a good reason. Then, if they are, then it's time for them. It's time for them to make a move and show it. Prove it, right? Instead of sneaking around for 80 years like this, taking people in the middle of the night, stealing cattle, cutting them up, and taking their blood. All of this stuff, right? It's put implants in people. Instead of sneaking around about it, why don't they come out and just show their cards? What are you here for? If it's something good, it should be no problem, right? But I guess that's what we'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah, But at this point, we're only the little people, and that's it.
Yeah, we're dumb. We're compared to them. I think we're really dumb. Yeah, really dumb.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to say this. Thank you all for joining us here today. Until next time.